Hello again and thanks for joining. So this is a Fleischmann model, you can see it on the box there, and it's a 2-car class 614 DMU, which was produced in around about the 1970s, and it's in an HO scale. This one is number 4430, and it came in a number of different colours, but here today I have the blue one, the orange one, and gosh, God, I'm getting deja vu here.
What did you just say?
Nothing, just had a little deja vu.
And it's modelling a classic German suburban DMU. So we're going to get this out the box and check it out.
And then another that looked just like it.
How much like it? Was it the same?
Might have been, I'm not sure.
This is just weird.
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
Got you. We're not in the Matrix. I've actually got both sets, and apart from the livery, I think they're just the same model. You can see on the edges of the boxes here that there's additional coaches that you can get for this, so you can run it as either a 3-car or a 4-car if you want. But I've only got the 2 power cars, and here I've got 2 sets as well. I think they're probably going to be pretty similar, so let's get these open. I'll start off with the blue one. Well, we do have an instruction sheet in with the models, and it shows a picture of the model up here and also how to take it apart. Looks like the roof just pulls off. And inside here you can see that the motor is on top of one of the bogies, and it's detailing how to take this out so that you can then lubricate it. So it looks as though also it picks up from this part. Over here though we have some lighting also fitted to the model, which is quite interesting. And of course, as with all Fleischmann models of this era, you've got the little stud there to operate other line side accessories. And we've got some cleaning information here as well. So here is the first of the models, the blue and cream one, and I'm really impressed straight away. I don't actually have any other Fleischmann DMUs in my collection, or EMUs come to think of it. So this is a first for me, and I'm already quite impressed with the level of detail here. But let's check them out closer up. So this first one I've picked up here is the dummy car, but you wouldn't know it because it's actually quite heavy, especially at the front here on this bogie. It feels as though it's got a motor fitted, but I think it's just got the motor shell. So they've obviously reused the bogie and some of the other parts just to add a bit of weight here. It has the typical Fleischmann coupling hanging out the front, and that's cantilevered separately to the bogie, and the bogie has a fair degree of movement here. But looking at the front of this DMU, it's really nicely presented. It's got flush fit glazing with little black surrounds, got some windscreen wipers moulded into the plastic. Very clear, you can see inside. There's an indication of an interior, but obviously it's dominated by, well, it would be a motor and a power car, but here it's just an extra weight. It looks as though we might have some lighting up the top, and these 2 headlights here, which are surrounded by silver chrome. They look really good, and the printing is also very good for the DB logo and the number below it, the 614. There's some indication of a coupling on the buffer beam there, and these buffers are separate pieces made out of plastic and just pushed into the body. And of course the massive coupling hanging out the front, it might actually benefit from not having that attached. So starting to look down the side, we've got another chrome surround on this window. The flush fit glazing is really good, I think. There's not much definition of this door here, and it does have a little bit of fuzziness on the printing here around it, but that actually might be because of age, because these are second-hand models. As we move further down, the first 2 windows are frosted to hide the motor, or in this case the weight. We've got a destination board there, which is pretty cool. And as we move further down the carriage, you can see inside very easily. The glazing is super clear, and we have a cream interior representing the seats there. The middle doors have black surrounds as well, and these little handles which have been picked out in silver. They're not very well defined though, but it's good that they've been painted. Another DB logo and some more decoration, which all seems to be very clear. And as we move down to the end of the carriage, we've got a first class section, which is somewhat spoiled by that wire, which you can see inside. And under this bogie, you can see that it has some pickup here as well. Another door at the end, which isn't that well defined, but it has got the handrail painted in silver. And looking at the back, we've got a gangway extra piece put in here, and not much else detail, but the printing and the masking is actually pretty good around the edges here. Looking up top, we saw that this is a separate piece, and it's been moulded in this kind of blue colour, and it has some air vents all the way along the top of the model. No moulding marks that I can see. Looking down below at the chassis, we've got a really good representation of all the boxes and the engine and the radiator and other tanks, and also some printing on it here as well, which is really cool. And if we look underneath, there's all the bracing underneath here moulded in, which is really well done. If I move around to the other side, you can also see here where some additional paint has been added in. I think that's for the fuel, possibly. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but that does look really good all the way along there. And looking at the bogies, they look really good as well. Lots of deep relief and a good amount of definition, plus really finely moulded sander little pipes there, which look absolutely great, I think, but not on the back bogie here. It's a bit plainer, but still looks really good. And it also has the coupling hanging out the back, typical Fleischmann stuff. But let's have a look at the power car. So this is the powered car, and we've got a motor here. We can actually see it just peeking through the frosted effect there. And it looks like a typical Fleischmann pancake motor. You see them in all the models, and normally they're pretty good runners, but we'll put this on the test track in a moment and give it a go. Aside from that, it's almost identical, this model, but it does have a different running number. And I can't see any other differences here at all. So let's pull up one of the orange ones and we'll check that out and compare it like for like. So this is the power car in the orange livery. Unfortunately, got a little bit of damage here. It looks like one of the buffers is broken off and taken apart the body as well, which is a real shame. I don't know where that's gone. It's not in the box. And like I said, I got these second hand. So yeah, you've got to expect some breakages every now and again. But you'll notice that the little aerial on the roof is still here. And that's the same with the blue one as well. So that's pretty good. At least it's got that. We've got a different destination board on this one. It's Nuremberg. And the livery is slightly different. It's got this kind of angled part at the front. This one does seem to have the roof lifting off a little bit from the body. And aside from the decoration and the different colours, including the interior and the roof, it's exactly the same model. At least we've got a different running number on this one. Just a note on the power bogie. It looks as though we've got plastic gears in there, just driving these two wheels. And I guess pickup should happen at the other end, and we've got a little stud there to operate the line side accessories. So I don't have a huge test track to run these on, but I'm looking forward to seeing them on the move, so let's get them set up. So obviously I've got the blue one on the track first. This is the Hornby third radius I always use, and you can see that the model does have a bit of an overhang there. I'm going to be using my H&M controller on 12 volts DC to give it some power, so let's see what happens. Well, I was running the orange one there and it just suddenly stopped and it was being a bit odd and I was wondering what was going on. So that's a good excuse to take the roof off and have a look inside. And what I found was a little driver figure stuck down on the chassis. So he's obviously fallen off his little control chair, but I didn't know you had a driver figure in these models, so that's pretty cool. And now that I relook at the blue one, we do actually have a little figure in there at the controls as well. So he's obviously gone AWOL on the orange one and fallen down into the chassis. So there's a little slot in there just beside the control panel that his feet stick into. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on that and put him back in there in a moment. But with the roof off, we can see that we've got this on the roof of the carriage. And I thought it was a light bar, but actually it isn't. It's just transferring power from the rear bogie up to the motor and also to the light bulb at the front, which just seems to power the front lights and not the interior lights. However, I don't think it's going to be that difficult to actually add lighting into this model. So that's an easy project if you want to do that to these. Anyway, I'm just going to stick this guy on and then we'll put the roof back on and test it again. Well, absolutely no problems there with either of these two DMUs. That's fantastic news, and I'm always impressed how good that Fleischmann motor actually works. If I'm right in saying these are from the 70s, it's quite incredible that you just put them on the track and off they go, no problems at all. Anyway, let's put these on the scales. I'll put a power car and a trailer on it so you can compare the weights. So this is a power car and it weighs 298 grams. And this is an unpowered trailer, it's 268 grams. So Fleischmann's model of the Class 614 two-car DMU I think is actually really good. I'm constantly impressed with that motor. It just runs really well and it can crawl along at a nice slow speed or pick up much faster if you want. Both these models are wearing really well. It's testament to their previous owner, but also I think of the build quality. I think they would stack up against modern DMUs. They've got the flush fit glazing with surrounds, they've got a bit of an interior as well, and the printing is all really good on the most part. There's much to like about these models, and you can extend them as well, make it into a 3 or 4 car if you want with that additional middle coach, which you can I guess buy separately. But talking about purchasing, how much did these sets cost me? Well, they weren't cheap. They were £80 a set, which does seem like a lot of money, but then I think these are fantastic models they've stood the test of time, they still look really great, and they run perfectly as well. So it's a big thumbs up from me. I really like these models, and I would recommend them if you're interested in getting some retro German DMUs. But what do you think about these models? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'll put both of these onto the turntable so you can see all the way around. Thanks for watching. It's been really interesting to see these models, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll catch you on the next video.
So model train, model world, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo.